Howdy folks and welcome back to another episode. In theory this episode should have been split into two, but as I realized that both of these episodes were quite boring because of the build up to war, I decided to merge those two episodes into one, so I apologize for that, but this video will look extremely fast, and if you wanted to let's say look closely at what I did, at the technologies that I researched and what I put in production, you can just put on some nice music, ideally Sabaton music, turn the volume on and slow down the video. That's fair and easy. Again, in the last episode I discussed a bit some mistakes from my side, and again, especially in the first part of the video, you will see plenty of mistakes. Let's say the first one is a mistake in not researching the oil plant technology in 1937. I have no idea why I decided to procrastinate it, but when I realized, I think it was already too late. And that's because in 1938 you have to research the synthetic rubber plant tech, as you really need to put into production those rubber plants no later than mid 1939. But anyway, this was just one of the first mistakes. The other mistake was a miscalculation in the focuses, because I should have put the, let's say, the Mare Nostrum focus slightly earlier than my expectations. In this campaign I got a bit delayed, and another miscalculation was, as I discussed already, the light artillery technology that allowed me to research the conversion of old World War I equipment. That in turn would have paved the way for the Ansaldo armor research company, and most importantly, the invest into armor focus will give you a 50% research speed on the first medium tank for Italy. So you may want to make good use of this research bonus, but in turn you have to delay this research until, as I did here in this video, until 1939. And again, you want to have medium tanks as early as possible, because you may want to have at least eight armored divisions, which will need roughly, I think, 600 or more tanks, if you use my template of 3 armored battalions per division, of course. And as I wanted to go down the innovative focus, innovative theories focus, I realized that to progress down that path I should have also researched the early war vehicles, cars and bikes, and the armored cars, especially the 1939 model. And as Italy, you only start with I would say the early 30s model, so you have to research 4 slots. You have to invest 4 times 4 slots in just this kind of stupid technologies that you need just to unlock some focuses in the tree, and nothing more. As I said, important technologies here at this point were to research the construction and in turn the excavation tree. The excavation tree unlocks the siege to invest into the Benghazi, in the Sirte oil fields. And as Italy, I think this is really a must, something that you need to have for sure. And by researching also the steel mill, I upgraded the steel mill in Calabria, in the south of Italy, just to become slightly less dependent on steel from the other Axis powers. I mean, so since I talk about this, let's make clear one thing concerning trading for resources. what you should always do in the Total War mode, and this is something that I did learn from the multiplayer sessions I've been playing, is always to trade with your future partners. So if you play as an Axis nation, you should trade mostly and only with other Axis nations. You know, if you play with the Allies, you should always trade with the Allies. And well, if you play with the commies, I would go for the Allies as well. Yeah. As I saw now, it was time to research the doctrines, the land doctrines. I did not invest at all in the air doctrines, I just focused on land doctrines. And as I mentioned, I think in the previous episode, I decided to go on the mobile warfare focus, as this is something that if you want to play as a successful Italy, you have to do. Forget the grand battle plan in single player, just go for the mobile warfare focus. And I know you have this horrible modifier, the fedeltà prima di tutto, the loyalty first of all, loyalty above all, which it gives you a minus 30% on the land on the doctrine reserve speed. I know it's bad, but you cannot get rid of it immediately, so you have to sacrifice some time to research those doctrines with this penalty. On the other side, there are many foci which will give you several bonuses to land doctrine research speed, and just pick them and make good use of those speed bonuses. One thing that I also set up in this campaign was the garrison suppression division, which consists of a super large cavalry with, I think, 12 battalions of cavalry and 4 battalions of armored cars, as well as a military police detachment. It's quite expensive, but you know, the bigger the division is, higher the suppression value, and lower the amount of this division will be required for the actual garrison duty. And I also decided to improve my radio equipment and uniforms. I made my uniform slightly cheaper, as well as I improved the speed and defense and soft attack of my radio equipment. And one thing that you may have noticed is that I sent my uniforms and rifles to China first and then to Japan. That's because I wanted to farm as much army experience as possible, and since those two countries were kind of involved in a war, I thought, okay, let's try to sell something to them. It was, it was not that much that I did gain, but I think it was still okay, at least to I had enough experience to set up my motorized divisions and do one small change to my radio equipment. So it was then the summer of 1939, and by the time I was kind of satisfied, because even though I was afraid of being late with the game, especially as you may have seen now, and as you can see now, I'm researching only now the improved fighters and close air support models. I was quite satisfied, because by investing at the beginning a lot into Loris, I could manage to produce quite a lot of them, and by then switching most of the production to tanks, I confess I had really enough factories to produce enough medium tanks for my 8 armored divisions, and unexpectedly I even had more than 800 units in the store. Really, I didn't see it coming. I thought my production was much crappier, and I think that investing also in the technologies that will increase the factory output is really beneficial for you guys. And as, let's say, Europe became inflamed by the war, I decided to go also to improve the radio technologies. I did not invest in the artillery radio because this technology does not provide any bonus to the light artillery, and you just saw now that I was a bit stuck in reading all the modifiers, and surprisingly it doesn't give any advance, any boost to the light artillery. So I said, okay, let's go with the recon and with the tank radio. And I calculated from my previous experiences that according to this strategy you have time until the 1st of May 1941, I think it was. Yeah, exactly, it was, I think, the 1st of May 1941, before the UK declares war against Iraq. And by the time you want to have the foci, faceta nera, blackface, the strike to the Nile, and as soon as the UK declares war, you have to take the focus war with the UK, as this will allow you to strike at the enemy while they're busy. I also do not forget to redeploy some troops on the Greek border, because somehow Greece will then join the war in the Allies. And in my previous campaign I just lost Albania because I thought that nothing would have happened on that front, but yeah, I was very wrong. So thank you very much again for watching, thank you very much for supporting my channel, and see you all in the next episode.